this one has been brewing since I found out, about 2 or 3 weeks ago from subscriber Rabido that Guinness is now being brewed in Australia. So I've done some research. Turns out they've been doing the kegs for a while, which kind of makes sense because I've had a few Guinness and a pints, and I don't know, something's been going on. But I was looking too much into it, but once I'd done the research, I found out yes, they are brewing in Australia because now they're openly selling it in the cans. So we've got the Irish one. Now the Irish one was the 440ml, 4.2%, come from the St James Brewery in Dublin, Ireland. This one here is Guinness Draft. It is a 470ml can, 4.2%. Now, you see at the front of the cans there, you've got the Irish is saying it's proudly St James Gate, Dublin, Ireland. And now they're saying on the Australian Brewed, it's just established St James Gate, 1759. So a little changes there. Now I believe they're brewing this down, possibly down Sydney in Lyons Brewery down there. Lion Nathan, who are owned by Kieran, are brewing this, I believe, under license. Now okay, so you got the Ridgy Ditch one from Ireland, and then you've got the Australian Brewed. Now the price hasn't changed. If not, it's getting dearer. So I think a couple of years ago I was paying $14 a pint down Sydney for a Guinness, and every year it's getting dearer. The cans are getting dearer. You think being in Australia it'd be cheaper, wouldn't you? No, it's dearer. Anyway, on a few websites, especially the DM's website, you can go on there and have a look. A lot of the regular drinkers of Guinness are blowing up because if you're a regular drinker of Guinness, you're going to pick it, aren't you? You're going to pick any changes of flavours. I don't know. The nutrition information on the back is somewhat a little bit different too. So it's saying here the carbohydrates for the Irish one's 11.9. And then it's saying here the carbohydrate, the Australian one is 11.3. It's also saying the Irish one, the sugars is 0.9 grams. And then sugars in this are 0.5. So there is differences to the beer. This isn't the same beer. And I'll tell you this much. This is our problem with brewing under license is, I'm telling you, you give me your home brew recipe, it ain't going to be exactly the same as yours. The way you brew it is going to be, that's going to be your little beer, simple as that. I might get something close, but it's not going to be the same. And that's the problem we're having here in Australia. It is running rampant. Heineken is pretty much, tastes like acetone here compared to the Heineken's brewed lager in Holland. It's absolutely superior. Another one, what's another one? There's so many. Budweiser. Like Budweiser is Budweiser, but Budweiser is really poor now. They've dropped the ABV. It doesn't even taste like it. It struggles to hold a head. It is absolutely dishwater. This is happening right across the board. It cracks me up when you see international beers on special or imported beers on special. They're not even imported. They're brewed on the license, but they're there to fool the everyday drinker. If you're like me and you're watching this, you're probably into your beers and then you pick up on it pretty quick. So anyway, got my water there. I'm going to pour these in. We've got the Australian cup and we've got the Irish. I was going to close my eyes, you have to trust me on this. It's too hot to put a blindfold on. It is the 1st of February here, 2025. There, this one's going to be got that beautiful surge there. This is the Australian brewed stuff in the A cup. So if you go to the pub, get a pint, you're not getting Irish Guinness. Just remember that, you're getting Australian Guinness. But you're still paying the super premium price. Apparently there's a Guinness shortage. So what? If you're still paying $80 a carton, you're telling me you can't get hold of some, people will pay it for the Ridgy Ditch. That's what I've learned. People will pay for the Ridgy Ditch version. Alright. So that one is just still surging there. The Irish one is done. This one's still going there. So I'm here at night time. The colour on the head looks pretty similar. I can't really tell it apart. Colour wise, very black. You do get some light at the bottom of Guinness. It's a little bit like that real deep, what we say, kind of deep mahogany colour at the bottom, a bit like what Coca-Cola does. It's not as strong as its foreign extra stout, or best extra stout, what they call it, the Guinness, which is also brewed on a licence here in Australia. But a lot of people like Hef think it's pretty good, but I haven't had enough of it to comment on that. Alright, so anyway, the surge is done. I'm going to close my eyes. I've got my glass of water there. I'm going to mix these up and then we'll see how we go. Alright, let's have a look at the nose, and this one on my right. Smells roasty. Guinness also, or Irish Guinness, also has that sourness to the beer. It does have a certain sourness. Well, the aroma's not as strong on that one. That one's a little bit strong on my right, the one on the left, a little bit more muted. Anyway, let's go to the taste. We'll go one on my right first. Cheers. Light roast. Obviously with that nitro, it is kind of gives off a very light kind of watery kind of body. Not watery, but you know what I mean. Flat. It's flatter in it because it's nitro, but they're still kind of creamy. Glass water. All right, number two. Okay, this one, very flat at the front, flavour wise, there's not a real lot going on. I think giving a stronger kind of smokiness to the beer coming on the back, very smoky. In preparation for this, over the last few weeks, I have had a 6-pack of Irish Guinness and of the Australian Brewed Guinness, just to prepare my taste buds and see which one honestly I prefer. The one to my right has a little bit more sweetness up front. It's a little bit more mellow. Doesn't seem to be so smoky at the back. So telling me, I don't know, whatever black malt they're using is different to this other one here. Finish is pretty mellow. It's not, it's more approachable, this one here, one on my right. It's definitely two, which way you go, these are two different tasting Irish dry nitro stouts, that's for sure. You wouldn't think they're from the same brand, if you know what I mean. I think this one just has a touch more of that Guinness sourness compared to this one on my left. One on my left. There's something going on for it. It's not furnished. I wouldn't think it's Guinness to me. I'm thinking that's the Australian Brewed one on my left and the Guinness one to my right. It's just got, it's over the black malt, whatever else, like I said, it's a little bit different ingredients. The black malt is, it's too smoky at the back. That kind of roasty. You got to be very careful when you use black malt when you're brewing, because it ain't a little bit, because it will impose a very strong burnt flavour. So the one on my left, I think that's Australian. I think it's over smoky at the back. If I want something smoky, you're going to go something like, you know, a Southwark Stout or a Sheaf Stout or even a Cooper's Extra Stout. The Irish kind of dry style for me is made with the sessionability of the Guinness draft. Is the smoke is kind of in the background, a lot lighter. Yeah, this one on my right is a lot more approachable. Has that look, kind of soundness and look, that nice soundness. It's just kind of its signature. Right, let's check open my eyes here. Irish one, yep, and the Australian one here. So I got it right. It's, what can I say? It's missing something big time, eh? Like even it doesn't taste like the same beer. If you think you're going to be getting into a Guinness in Australia, best ask where the kegs come from. Most likely is Australian Brewed. Even my eyes open here. It's a lot more approachable. It's a lot more Irish to me, what I'm expecting from the Guinness, even Murphy's. Very approachable. Got a bit more sweetness up front. It's got a bit of smoke, but this one's overdone the smoke. Honestly, it's frustrating as heck. Like, I can't. Why do they do it? You might as just twoies. Might as just start their own nitro stout. To be honest with you, that'd be the way to go. Why try and pull the wool over Australian beer drinkers' eyes? And they do it all over the world. Something, it's off with that, eh? I'll never buy another Guinness again. I bought a 6-pack of this, went sipping for the week, but just haven't been enjoying it. Just there's something about it. It's just off. They're missing something. The ingredients obviously different on the sides. They've adjusted the beer for whatever reason, different. There's so many factors in brewing. Like I was saying before, you cannot brew. I'll give you my beer recipe. I guarantee you it's going to taste different. You can brew it, be kind of similar, but it's not going to be the same. Because you want a beer that's coming out of the gates of St. James. And like I was saying to some of the boys there in the Australian beer reviewing community, I'm a bit of a romantic when it comes to this. Because something that Michael Jackson said a long time ago, you're watching on the Beer Hunter, he talks about, or actually talks to the owner of Anchor Brewing back in the late 80s, 90s, Fritz Maytag, I'm pretty sure he was. The beer drinker wants the beer to come from a good place. You want to, when every time I drink this, I'm drinking a little bit of Ireland. I know, it's probably the romantic in me, but that's Irish water that has made that beer, crafted by Irish brewers. Grain from, I imagine, would be Irish fields. It's not the same. This is not the same. There must be two different beers. So, in my opinion, Guinness is gonna pretty much fade. I don't think your faithful Guinness drinkers who fork out $80+ a carton, maybe more these days, are gonna pay for this. It'd really be big for local craft breweries. If anyone could create an Irish Dry Stout Nitro in a can, it would be a real big opening. And also you've got Murphy's, which used to be in Dan Murphy's. Aldi's had it 4 packs on and off. Heineken own Murphy's. I'm pretty sure Murphy's is a pretty tasty little nitro Irish dry stout, that would definitely be one. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of Jez Beer Reviews. They're pretty much played out like we expected, and we'll just have to see what happens in the future. So thanks for once again watching this episode. See you in the next.